Oh, hey there. I didn't realize the camera was rolling. Let me grab a seat and I'll let you know what we're going to talk about today. I recently did a video on the different kind of fittings you can have on your kettle. So it occurred to me it may be useful to discuss those fittings in a little bit more detail. It's a pretty simple one, but it's an important one because as you go to put your system together, you want to be thinking about how the plumbing is going to work. What's going to be the best kind of connection for you to use. So I'm going to focus on a couple in particular and a third kind of on the side, and that being the tri-clamp, which also is called triclover sometimes. If anybody knows why, please put that in the comments because I have no idea. We'll talk about Camlocks, and then kind of a sister to the Camlock, the quick disconnect. So let's dive right in and start with the tri-clamp first. These are the ones you've probably seen in any brewery you've been at. It's just a big open hole there with a ridge inside, and it allows you to connect all your various elements together with a single style interface. Let me show you how that works. You have the two connections you want to connect together. You put this little gasket, usually it's a silicone style gasket, place the two together, and that ridge inside kind of holds it together. It allows you to take your clamp then, put it around, swing it up and over, and then tighten it up. So there you have it. That's the connection. What's really nice about this, and you can kind of see as I take it apart, is that to clean it, it is completely exposed so you can get to all the parts easily and do a very effective job cleaning. With the tri-clamp, you tend to see your valves are these butterfly style valves. The other thing with any of these types of things are you can have a host of adapters. This one here you can see the tri-clamp to effectively you put a picnic tap on this, serve right off fermenter. Here I have a tri-clamp interface to a quick disconnect. So again, just a bit of a different style. So on that note, let's go ahead and talk about that quick disconnect. There you have it, spring loaded. It can go onto a variety of different interfaces here. Like I say, this is tri-clamp. You might have one that's just a NPT, half inch type of thing. But you just pull back, snap it on, very easy to use. Kind of like these. I didn't really discover them until I had the rest of my system built out. But this is a pretty nice and easy connection for a variety of installations. So let's move over to the Camlock. The Camlock's really common and a great interconnect. What you basically have is a male and female part of the connections. These are typically threaded on one end because you're going to be screwing them into or onto a different piece of equipment. So you've got to have your polarities correct to make the proper connection, but it's simply plug it together, and then the lock part of it is just pulling these handles down. Has a gasket inside to keep it watertight. Very effective. It works, real good. The only drawback some folks may squawk about is that you typically will always have one threaded side, and threads in the brewing environment, it's an area for potential contamination growth. Not that it always happens, and I've used these a lot over the years with a lot of success. Then you have things like this that I put together, tri-clamp to Camlock. So you can mix and match all over the place with your cables if you need to do it that way. Like I showed this one, tri-clamp to quick disconnect. And a variety of configurations where a lot of 90-degree right angle stuff. So again, your plumbing. Figure that out right, and then that's going to help you drive the decisions on what kind of equipment you buy. So let me grab the camera real quick and I'll show you how I have these various interconnect styles implemented into my little brew system here. So So we'll start by looking at the mash tun. You can see I have tri-clamp for the valve and for the thermometer there. But right next to them is the pump, and you'll notice I have a tri-clamp on the input of that pump, but on the two output ports either side I have a Camlock. And the reason for that is that this is kind of a tight space and it might be hard to get the tri-clamp connection made. Same thing's true on this other pump. Again, it's small, it's lightweight. The notion of attaching a big old valve like this to a little tiny pump like that, it just doesn't make sense. So I went Camlocks there. Down on the chiller, on the beer side, I've got tri-clamp because I want the best sanitation possible. But for the water in and out, I'm using Camlocks. Easier to fit in that small space. And lastly, on the brew kettle itself, again, tri-clamp. So there you have it. That really is the extent of what these things are all about. I'm very quick to say there's no right or wrong answer, but having it planned out before you actually buy some of your equipment, probably a good call. So again, I just did a video on the brew kettle itself, some thoughts around that. And it occurred to me that a little discussion on these various kind of connections would make some sense. If I figure out how to do it, I'll put a link to that brew kettle discussion either up top here or down in the description. You can take a look at that. But it's all fun. It all works well. And feel free, as always, to hit me with any questions, opinions, whatever that might help you out as you're getting ready to go. Thanks again.